Hi, fourth graders. It's great to see you again. I miss you. Well, I have this friend, though, that's been keeping me company, and he helps me understand math better, and I hope he's going to help you understand math better, too. I call him Mr. Buddy because he's a lifesaver, just like our Mr. Buddy is at school. Next time you see Mr. Buddy in school, you should thank him. He's the one that's keeping all this distant learning going for us. Right? Right? Let's thank Mr. Buddy.
Let's thank Mr. Buddy.
Thank you, Mr. Buddy.
Thank you, Mr. Buddy.
Okay, last time we met, we were reviewing fractions and just got into adding and subtracting mixed numbers. But I want to make you aware of a certain challenge I have. Those of you who watched the last video, did you detect a mistake? Yes, I made a mistake. And it was a mistake that you should have been able to pick up on if you were watching carefully. I misspoke. What that means is I wrote the right numbers down, but I said them backwards. Did anybody notice that? Well, if you want to go back later and look at the previous video and you can find that mistake, email me, and my email address is in that video as well. And I'll put your name down, and next time I see you, I'll have a special little prize for you, okay? So let's look at a little math challenge. I hope you're also doing your extra math because those ice cream sandwiches are waiting for you. But let's get on with today's assignment, okay? Okay? What we're doing today is reviewing fractions and mixed numbers. This is called a quick review. Remember we talked about equivalent fractions last time? If we start with a fraction like 1/3, if we multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number, 1 times 2 is 2, 3 times 2 is 6, you'll have a new equivalent fraction. Now I could take that fraction and also multiply the numerator by 2 and the denominator by 2, and I'd have another equivalent fraction. 2 times 2 is 4, and 6 times 2 is 12. See, I can build equivalent fractions forever. Let's do one more. What if I took 4/12 and multiplied the numerator by 2 and the denominator by 2? I'd end up with 8/24 because 12 times 2 is 24. All these fractions are all equivalent to 1/3. Okay, then we talked about simplifying fractions or reducing fractions. It's kind of like the same thing, except instead of multiplying, you're dividing. Let's start with the fraction 6/8. Now I want to reduce that or simplify that to its lowest terms. What would be the greatest common factor? Well, I know they're both even, so I know I could do 2. Let's see what happens when I divide 6 by 2 and 8 by 2. As long as I'm doing the same thing to the numerator and the denominator, I'm okay. 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. That's the simplest form of 6/8. Let's try another one. 12/24. Well, I could do 2, but the idea is to get the greatest common factor because you'll get done faster. So I think of my timetables. Well, I know 12 times 2 is 24. I could use 12 as my greatest common factor. So let's divide the numerator by 12 and the denominator by 12. 12 divided by 12 is 1. 24 divided by 12 is 2. There we go. That's the reduced form or the simplest form of 12/24. Then we talked the last time a little bit about changing improper fractions to mixed numbers. Remember this line, this dividing line really means divide. How many 4s are in 12? Well, I know from my timetables 3 times 4 is 12, so there are 3 4s in 12. We just changed that now to a whole number. But sometimes it might end up as a mixed number, which is nothing more than a whole number and a fraction. For example, 13 divided by 6. Let's divide again. That's improper. I wouldn't want to leave like that, so I have to divide 6 into 13. Well, how many times does 6 go into 13? I know it goes in twice, because 6 times 2 is 12, but I have 1 left over. And that 1 left over becomes the numerator of the fraction. And of course, as Mr. Cameron says, we never mess with the denominator. So we've got 2 1/6 as the mixed number for the improper fraction, 13/6. Then we change mixed numbers back to improper fractions. Do you remember how we did this? We have 3 1/4. We start at the denominator at the bottom and multiply 4 times 3 is 12. add the top number, the numerator, and one more makes 13 over 4. Same thing here. If I want to change this mixed number to an improper fraction, and we'll need to know how to do this more next chapter when we're multiplying and dividing fractions and mixed numbers. But for now, let's just learn how to change a mixed number to an improper fraction. 3 times 6 is 18, plus 2 is 20 over 3. And there you know how to change a mixed number to an improper fraction back to a mixed or whole number. You know how to reduce fractions or simplify them, and know how to make equivalent fractions. Okay, let's do something else today, and that's adding and subtracting mixed numbers with common denominators. I'm hoping you can all see this. Okay, can you see it okay? Let me raise it a little bit more. How's that? Okay? All right, adding and subtracting mixed numbers with common denominators is a cinch. Remember, whenever we add fractions, we always have to have common denominators. And in this lesson today, they'll all be common. So we have 1 and 1/4, which is a mixed number with the fraction 1/4, plus 2 and 1/4 has a fraction of 1/4. I can add it and begin with the fractions. I can add the numerators. 1 and 1 is 2. We never add the denominators. We don't mess with the denominators. We just move it down, okay? And then we add the whole numbers. 2 plus 1 is 3. But now we have to ask ourselves, is that in lowest terms? I know 2 and 4 are both even, so let's divide the top number and the bottom by 2. And don't forget to move over this 3. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So the reduced or simplified answer for this problem would be 3 1/2. Okay? Again, my denominators are the same, so I can go ahead and start adding the numerators in this particular problem. 3 2/8 plus 4 2/8. Let's start with the fractions. 2 plus 2 is 4. Don't mess with the denominator. 8 just comes right down because now I have 4 8s. Don't forget the whole numbers now. 4 plus 3 is 7. Check to see if you can reduce fractions. Remember, we always have to reduce fractions.
Reduce fraction.
Very good. Okay. And we know in this case that the greatest common factor is 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. And don't forget to bring that whole number over. There you've got your answer for those two adding problems that involve mixed numbers with common denominators. That's in the red section. Now in this blue section, we're going to subtract. It's done the same way. You start with the larger number on top, as always, in subtraction. We have 5 6 minus 2 6. The denominators are the same, so I just subtract the numerators. 5 minus 2 is 3 over 6. And 6 minus 4 is 2. Okay, check to see now if it's in lowest terms, simplest form, reduced. Those are all interchangeable terms. And I know I can divide by 3 here. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. And don't forget to bring the whole number over. The answer to this one would be 2 1/2. Let's look at this last example of subtracting mixed numbers with common denominators. 12 is my common denominator. I'm good to go. 11 minus 6, you just subtract the numerators, is 5. Don't mess with the denominator. That comes straight down. And 7 minus 6 is 1. That one can't be reduced, can it? There's no, that's it. We're done. No, nothing to reduce by. Okay. Now, let's put these in a story problem situation, okay? And then we'll stop for today. Let's say this fellow wants to make punch, okay? To make punch, I use 1 1/4 cups of orange juice, okay? And 2 1/4 cups of ginger ale. That sounds like an interesting punch, huh? How much punch did I make? In other words, I'm putting it together. That's a sign of adding, isn't it? So 1 1/4 plus 2 1/4. Fortunately, my denominators are the same, so I just add the numerators. 1 plus 1 is 2. Don't mess with the denominator. That stays fourths. And 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 2/4, however, can be simplified, can't it? Right? I can divide top and bottom by 2. They're both even. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And don't forget to bring over the whole number. I just made 3 1/2. C stands for cups. And you can write down a punch if you'd like. That's the total amount. That's probably enough for a couple servings. So now let's give you a story problem that involves subtraction. Let's say Bill had 6 and 4 cups of punch. He's got the pitcher. Now he shared 3 and 2 6 cups, maybe with his brother. You know, they're home together and he's going to be really kind to him and share. How much did he have left? So how much was Bill left with? Definitely that word left signifies subtraction. You're taking something away, aren't you? So the 6 and 4 6 goes on top, minus 3 and 2 6, which we're taking away from 6 and 4 6. The denominator is the same, so I can just subtract the numerators. Can you see that? 4 take away 2 is 2 over, don't mess with the denominator, is 6. And then 6 minus 3 is 3. But I have to simplify that, don't I? 2, 3, and I'm going to divide by 2 because they're both even. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And he's got 3 and 1/3 cups of his punch left. And that's about it. What do you think? Next week, when I make the next video for you, we'll talk about adding and subtracting mixed numbers with unlike denominators. That's it for today.
That's for today.
Okay, have a wonderful weekend.
Okay, have a wonderful weekend.
See you soon.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.